Luke is visiting with you?
Yeah, he's like, I can't scoot my chair because he's just laying there. Good evening, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
It's 7 o'clock, so we're going to get started. This is EC Head Consulting Wednesday night spotlight. Tonight we're doing What is a Split Signing by our very own Liz Head of Liz EC Head Consulting. I am Tamika. I am one of the trainers for EC Head Consulting. I do your notary one-on-one workshops, and I'm also Liz's favorite daughter.
You're her only daughter, right?
Hey.
Oh.
Come on now.
Was that Miranda? Miranda, did you say that?
He's busting me out.
Was that Miranda?
Yeah. So let's get started. Welcome, everyone.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Let's go, ma'am.
Okay, so I thought you were going to do an introduction or something, but I guess that's it, huh?
I did the introduction.
I guess I was expecting more. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. And it's just a little nugget, like we do on Wednesday nights. We do the little nuggets for you. And of course, I've had some questions about what is a split signing or how to do a split signing. So that's why I chose the split signing tonight, just to give you a little bit of information on split signing. So we're just going to jump right on in. And basically, it's like a split signing. I can't be at the same location as my spouse or my business partner. So a split signing is when the borrowers or the signers on the same transaction are in different locations. They're in different locations. So one may be across town, one may even be in Ohio. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they are, because if they're not signing together, it is considered a split signing. Let's look at some examples. So we've got example 1, 2 copies of the loan package. The husband is at home. The wife is at her work location. A loan package is delivered to Notary 1 by email from the hiring company. And let me just move this so I can see my screen. So the loan package is delivered to Notary 1 by email from the hiring company to meet the husband at home. Notary 1 is going to collect the signatures and notarizes for the husband at the home location. The wife's name is crossed off by drawing one line. Do not scratch, just one line through her name and initial the crossed out name, because you are not notarizing the wife's signature. The wife's name is crossed off by drawing one line through her name, and you will initial the crossed out name, and we're talking about on your notarial certificate. We're talking about your notarial certificate for the purpose of your notarial certificate, I should say that. Notary 1 submits the package to the designated settlement agent's location. A copy of the same loan package is delivered to Notary 2 by email from the hiring company to meet with the wife at work. Notary 2 collects the signatures and notarizes for the wife at the place of employment. Notary 2 is going to draw a line through the husband's name and initial the crossed out name, because Notary 2 is only notarizing for the husband. And the Notary 2 is going to submit their package to who? The hiring company. 2 different packages. Is that clear? Any questions on that?
had a question about, I've heard of some instances where they get the second notary gets the package with the signed name on there, and they gave notary number 2 the package with the line crossed out and the wife's name or whoever needs to sign second, and they were like, I guess, upset that they got the second one crossed out. I don't know. Is that a something that happens all the time?
It's gonna come up, in a minute. And after I do the next example, if that doesn't clear it up for you, we'll talk about it more.
Okay.
When not to cross through a name.
Okay.
The signing may take place simultaneously using 2 notaries, or depending on the location, the same notary may do both signings, one after the other. The notary travels.
Okay.
If the same notary is traveling to collect signatures for both parties, do not cross through a name.
Okay.
If the same notary is traveling to do both packages, both parties, you do not cross through a name.
Okay.
Example 2. Remember, the first example we had of what? Traveling notary. Now we have a traveling loan package. So a traveling loan package is where the same package is used for both parties. There's usually 2 notaries on a traveling package, 1 package. Borrower 1 is signing in one place. For instance, one borrower may be out of state and borrower 2 is signing at another location. The package is sent to notary 1, who meets with the borrower 1 to collect signatures. Notary 1 completes the notarial certificates as usual. Do not cross out the name of the second party because you are using the same package. Using the mailing label, UPS, FedEx, whatever, that has been supplied by the hiring company, notary 1 forwards the partially completed package using a label to the second borrower's notary, notary 2. Dates used for a split signing. Borrower 2 is using the current date when signing the document, the date received from notary 1 for notarization. Likewise, notary 2 is using the current date, the date the package is received from notary 1, which should be the day you meet with the borrower, for notarization. In this instance, the date on the document may not match the date of the notarization for borrower number 2. Any questions on that?
The question is, will you be providing PowerPoint slides for this Zoom? Yes, we post this the next day. It'll be on YouTube, as well as our workshops, as well as I'll email the PowerPoint.
Thank you. All right. Notary number 2 receives a partially completed package. Notary 1 has used the spaces designated for notarization for borrower number 1. Therefore, notary number 2 must have blank jurats and acknowledgements in order to notarize borrower number 2's signatures, because usually there is only 1 certificate in the loan package for the signing. Notary number 2 returns a completed loan package using the mailing label supplied to the settlement agent or title company. Any questions? And y'all don't have to put it in the chat. You can ask the question. We're fine. We like questions.
I have a question. Ms. Liz, my name is Apollonia Barstow. I'm a notary in Illinois. Thank you so much for having this.
Hey.
Oh, we got some Illinois people in the house.
Yes. Okay, sorry. Your question.
Okay. My question is regarding notarizing when both parties are not present, but you said to not cross out the signature. And if it's the same notary, am I stamping with the first signer or stamping with the second signer? If I'm the same notary for both husband and wife, husband is at home, wife is at work, I'm traveling.
You're traveling. Now, that's going to be pretty much, if it's the same day,
Mhm.
that's going to be a judgment call on your part, because you're not crossing anything out. You're just going to another place. You can stamp that once or you can stamp it twice. That's my opinion. However, when I travel, it's the same day. I stamp once. I get both signatures and then I stamp.
Okay. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
What part of Illinois are you from?
I live in Calumet Park.
Okay.
In what part?
But I'm from Chicago. I was born and raised in Chatham. So
Okay, well, welcome there. Welcome.
thank you so much.
Are there any other questions? See, we heard somebody from home, our
Right.
home state anyway,
Right,
and
we
we got
got
all
excited.
excited. But you know, I do train in Illinois, well, not now because of COVID. Any other questions on this split signing? Okay, some may ask where to get certificates. It's important to keep some blanks with you at all times. So the certificates are available on the NNA's website. Make sure you're pulling down the correct certificates for your state. And then if you're not a member on NNA, they'll let you purchase the certificates. And then of course you can just go to the website and just Google your certificates, and then you just print them. Again, making sure that you are printing the appropriate certificates for your state. The other thing you can do is to invest in an acknowledgement or jurat notario certificate stamp. And then you don't have to worry about carrying around loose leaf certificates. You just stamp that baby and fill it in and you're done. Any questions?
Real quick,
Yes.
Ms. Liz, I have on the forms that they have on their website. I printed out and it had a blue ribbon, a blue, like, it was in color, basically. Is that okay, or does it just need to be plain?
Well, you know what, if you want to use your ink, your colored ink, to do it in color, nobody's going to care. But in my opinion, and again, it's just my opinion, I ain't using my ink like that. Black
No,
and
it just
white.
happened to print like that. And I was thinking, oh, this must be a sample because it had the blue lines on it. So I was like, well, maybe I need to reprint, because when you look at the actual pad that they sell, there's no line, there's no outline or anything like that on it. It's just plain.
What you printed was just pretty, huh?
I guess so, yeah. So I didn't know if that really mattered.
Well, if you print that, even though it shows color on your computer, chances are if you print it with, on just your regular printer, it's not going to come out in blue. It's going to come out black and white, I think.
Unless you have a color printer, you just choose to print it in black and white and don't use your color.
Right.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know that it was on color, but I just didn't know if it made a difference whether or not it had the little ribbon on it, because it came from their website. So I didn't know if it made a difference.
This is not, unless that's a ribbon on a certificate that is in a state. What state are you in?
Texas.
No, that's not a requirement for Texas. That's not a requirement for Texas certificates. So I don't know what to tell you about that pretty blue ribbon, other than don't use your ink.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said on the NNA website that you can get the blank jurettes, and then you said if you don't have a membership, you can purchase them. So if you do have a membership, you don't have to purchase them. Is that what you're saying?
They're free. You just go over to that little forms section on NNA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, NNA made some changes. I haven't tried it lately, but it used to be you could, yeah, I know it's still there. Yeah, if, as long as you are a member, you don't have to pay for those certificates.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So make sure you turn off your color ink, because if you use the forms that they provide, it will print out pretty.
Oh, so they just send you a PDF of the forms.
Well, they don't send it to you. You just printing it from their website. Now, if they've changed that, I'm not aware of it.
Okay.
But if you are a member, it used to be that you got those certificates for free. In fact, when I first started, it was a part of my package that I got from them. I got a whole pad, and I still got those. But you can print them from the NNA's website if you have a membership. That's the way it was. And if I'm wrong, I bet you somebody's going to let me know. And
No,
then
ma'am, you're right.
You can
Ted.
download them.
You can download them as long as you're a member.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
correct.
You still can.
Okay, good. I don't want to be giving any wrong information. But again, if you're not a member, just Google it and get you some forms. Or, like I said, and especially if you're not going to have a whole lot of split signings, but there are enough of them to be worthy of mentioning because it's come up several times. But you can get those certificates on the website. You can get, or like I said, especially if you're going to do some general notary work, you may very well want to invest in the stamp, a juret notarial certificate stamp, and an acknowledgement certificate stamp.
There's a question in the chat about the stamp. It says, what are juret stamps? Can you kind of elaborate?
Okay. Juret, there are several different types of notarial certificates. Your juret and the acknowledgement are the most commonly used certificates in a loan signing. A juret represents a certificate where you have to give the oath to the person whose signature you are notarizing. So juret, you give the oath during a notarial act. Did that answer that question?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think that was where so can you explain, you're saying stamp, so can you explain what the stamp is? Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just, you know how your certificate reads before me with your name on it. Tamika Harris appeared before me on August 19th, 2020. Okay, that's what's on your certificate. And that's what's on your certificate. So you just take that certificate and you make it into a stamp. So that's different from your stamp that you're using. When you stamp it, you create a certificate on a stamp. Regina, you were supposed to give me a copy of one so I could show it to them. But it'll look just like your notarial certificate.
I'm going to do one now and send it to Tamika, and she can bring it up on the screen.
Send it to my email.
Okay.
Yes, someone's asking to see a sample. And do you recommend a Chromebook or a regular laptop PC for notary businesses?
Oh, that's a good question. repeat that so I can make sure I heard it right. And then, of course, Tamika, I'll have to stop sharing for you to share what Regina's going to send to you.
Right. I'll let you know when I have it ready.
Repeat that question.
Do you recommend a Chromebook or a regular laptop or PC for notary business?
Okay. Now, could I ask, before I answer that question, I just got to know, who asked that question?
Why does that matter?
Because I want to know.
Naressa. I hope I said your name right.
Naressa. Can I see Naressa's face?
Oh my goodness.
Where are you, Naressa? I'm looking for you. So turn that camera on so I can see you. Naressa, she got, okay, she must be the iPhone person because
No, she's up there. Her name is up there.
I don't, okay, Naressa.
Scroll over. Naressa, can you wave?
There she is.
We're dealing with old people.
There she is, Naressa.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, LaRonda, why you want control of my screen?
I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna decline you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, Larissa, look at this face. This tells you I'm an old lady, right? Y'all start talking about Chromebooks and this and that and the other. I use my desktop for my business. Now, what you choose to use, whether it's a Chromebook or a PC or laptop, whatever works for you. But this old bird prefers my desktop. And then let me tell you, my keyboard went out yesterday.
Oh, Lord.
I got 2 laptops in my house, right? But I had not had them on. One is one of those little Chromebooks, and the other one is a full-fledged laptop. So then my keyboard for my desktop here went out. I freaked out. And then I started trying to use those little the laptop and use the Chromebook, and I hadn't had them on for so long. They had to do all this updating and all that stuff, drove me crazy. Anyway, I quickly ran out and bought a keyboard so I could use my desktop. I tell you that story just to tell you, I'm an old lady and I need stuff. I don't need to be messing with all this technology stuff, but whatever works for you. I do, however, so if your Chromebook works, your laptop works, your desktop works, it's fine. However, I do encourage you, all of you, not to try to do this business using your smartphone. Your smartphones are smart, but in my opinion, unless it's an emergency, do not attempt to print your loan documents. Don't make it a habit. If you're in a pinch, because I have printed from my cell phone when whatever might have been going on. But do not make that a habit, because sometimes it's not going to print correctly because of the settings that's in that smartphone. So, but yeah, baby, use what works. Use what works. Okay? We kind of got off of this a little bit, but that's all right, because Narissa needed to know that. Okay? But y'all, that's how a split signing is done. And I want to thank you for spending time with us this evening.
Wait a minute. Can you stop sharing so I can show Regina's stamps?
Okay.
Please.
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Can y'all see it?
Can you make it bigger?
No. It's her picture.
Oh.
So is that what you recommend, the stamps versus buying a tablet of Gerads or printing them as needed?
For me, no. But for you, it's a personal choice, because it depends on how frequently you're going to use it. And again, if you're doing a lot of general notary work, it may be beneficial. Regina, can you tell us how frequently you use those stamps in loan signing?
I use them more frequently in general notary work because sometimes someone will have a document and they'll need it notarized, but they won't have the notarial certificate. So I normally keep these because doing general notary work, you're going to have a few occasions where you're going to need them. I haven't needed them in the loan signing, but definitely they've been coming in handy for general notary work.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep them in my bag. And I keep some loose leaves, but if it's general notary work, a lot of times there's enough space on the document to just put the certificate stamp there.
Now, what I do recommend is the mini stamp. Because oftentimes, I'm talking, when I say the mini stamp, I'm talking about just like your stamp that you use when you're notarizing your documents. That's what I'm talking about now. Mini stamp, because sometimes you'll have these small spaces that you will have to fit that stamp. So just make sure that you are, I keep messing that up. Make sure that you are, that you have that small stamp. It's called a mini stamp. And I think it's about, I don't know, $25 or so. But that's better than having to do a loose leaf. I do my best not to use a lot of loose leaf, because anytime you're adding a document to a package, and it, what happens if it gets separated? But if you do have to do a loose leaf, make sure you're putting the appropriate information on there. You put on there somewhere the title of the document that's being used, that's being notarized, the signature is being notarized on. So make sure you put that on there. But get the mini stamp if you can.
We have a question in the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, she just said she has a question about the package that is traveling. So Ms. Barksdale, you want to finish your question out?
Yes, my question is, for the package that is traveling, you said not to cross out the signer who is not present, and that because that package is going to another notary. Do you stamp your notarial stamp if you're the first notary? Well, I'm sorry, that's a dumb question. Back up. If you're the second notary, if I'm the receiving notary for the second signer, am I also stamping that same document? So there's going to be two notarial stamps, one from the first notary and one from me.
Absolutely. Same
document. Okay, gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, what happens if you don't have enough space? What happens if she took up all the space and you don't have enough room to put your stamp on there?
I'm either going to use my mini stamp that I'm going to order, or I'm going to attach it looser.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
You're so smart.
Reminder from the best.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Liz, what do you do? So can you explain how the right to cancel comes into play when there's a split signing? Because you have that, till midnight kind of thing. What happens if the documents are traveling and then the right to cancel, you're going to lose a day on that one? How does that come into play?
Okay, the right to cancel. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a nugget on the notice of right to cancel, I think in the next couple of weeks. But oftentimes, whereas we are presenters and not advisors, but there are some times when we are required to think through some things and look a little bit deeper. And then sometimes in doing that, we sometimes will temporarily move out of the notary realm, because keep in mind, you're there to notarize signatures. That's basically your job. But you have to move out of the realm of the notary and think some things through. On the notice of right to cancel, in my opinion, when you're dealing with a refinance and you are having to deal with the notice of right to cancel, and if that package is traveling, 9 times out of 10, the escrow officers have moved that date, that disbursement date. That disbursement date is tied to your notice of right to cancel. So they know they need another day in there perhaps. So the disbursement date may be a day later. So what you are doing is, first of all, the notice of right to cancel does not require notarization. The notice of right to cancel does not require a notarization. However, it's your job as a notary to make sure that the signer is signing in the right place and they are dating. Therefore, when that second signer is signing, they are signing for the current date. They're not signing for the 19th when Tamika got her package and she's the first person. They're actually signing the second day, which is the 20th. So that's the day they are signing that notice of right to cancel. If by chance that date does not line up with the lender's disbursement date or the title company's disbursement date, then okay, that becomes a lender title company compliance issue, not a notary issue, in my opinion. So, and when I say in my opinion, that's exactly what something like that is, because I have moved out of the realm of notarization into, I think about it logically. And we know we don't backdate. I'm also doing a nugget on backdating. So if that date on the 20th does not match up to the disbursement date, which now should be the 24th perhaps, that's not a notary issue. That's a lender title company issue. But that's how I would do that. Do we have anyone who have a different opinion about that date? Keep in mind, here at EC Head, what do? We learn, we share, we grow together. Anybody else got an opinion about that?
You mean disbursement as in rescission date? That right? You're talking about the same thing, disbursement and rescission date?
No.
Okay.
Your rescission date, and we're talking refinances now, guys. We're talking refinances. And on a refinance for a homestead property, you have a 3-day right of rescission. They have 3 days to change their minds.
Okay.
That's typically going to be 1 day prior to the disbursement date. The disbursement date means that the day that they disperse all the money, everybody gets paid on that file. The loan company, the mortgage company sends their money to the title company to pay off the seller or the old loan. And then after their 3 days has elapsed, that's when that will happen. That disbursement to the parties who are getting paid will not occur until 1 day after, at least 1 day after the 3-day right of rescission has expired.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Liz.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm assuming when you're doing a split signing and the first person who gets the package, they have to be, I guess you're going to have two labels in there. So I guess you got to be mindful that you put the correct label on the package. Is that how that works?
Well, if your package is traveling, if you've got one package that's traveling, you only have one label. Actually, yeah, you have two labels, because one label is for notary number one to send to notary number two. And then you have a label in there for notary number two to send the package back to the title company.
Right.
And
I'm just
yes,
saying
you
you
do
got to
have to
pay
be
careful attention to that.
Yes, ma'am, you're right.
I mean, I really don't like doing split signings. I'm just going to be honest. I've done one where I did the same one. I did one at the for the husband, and then he and his wife were separated. Then I had to go a few miles down to do one for the wife. But I did have one that traveled from California, but I didn't know it was a split signing. But I just wasn't prepared that day. I didn't have my loose leaves, but luckily that buyer package was being done at a realtor office, and they were able to print me some. Or if not, then I would have had to go, somewhere and print some. But I forgot. I mean, normally I have mine in my bag, all of my stuff. It was just one of those days I cleaned out my notary bag and didn't put everything back in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming when you don't have the loose leaf, well, first I called the title company and they told me to use the loose leaves. And then if you don't have any, I guess you got to go find somewhere to go print some.
Speaking of that, LaRonda, are you still here? Where did my LaRonda go? LaRonda is off camera. There she is.
I'm here. You know my camera don't work. You know I'm not tech savvy. How can I help you, Ms. Lee?
Didn't I see you earlier though on camera?
I was on the phone and my phone went dead.
Gotcha. Would you mind sharing? Regina was just talking about how she had to go print some stuff. Would you mind sharing what happened, even though it's getting away from the traveling, the split signing a little bit? But would you mind sharing what happened to you?
Not at all. I would love to share that. On Thursday or Friday, I had a signing. And I had a signing.
Wait a minute, LaRonda.
Ma'am.
Okay, while you tell your story, y'all, because I already heard the story, I'm gonna go get my coffee. But you go ahead, you tell that story.
Okay, so on Thursday or Friday, I had my signing, and when I had my signing, the signing was at 5 o'clock. So about 4:45 that day, while I was on my way to the signing, almost like 2 miles away from the signing, they called and say, "Hey, we have an updated package. Do you mind going ahead and printing those out and just taking it with you?" And I was like, "Well, I'm like 2 miles away from the signing. There's no way that I can do it." So I said, if we can, would you all like to reschedule? Now I'm a new notary. I said, would you all like to reschedule, or do you want me? She was like, oh no, just go ahead and sign those documents, and I'll see if they can sign them at the closing. I was like, okay, no problem. I was like, now I'd be more than happy to reschedule. She was like, no, that's okay. So by the time I get there, we signed the documents, and I'm thinking, okay, all my documents are done. So on yesterday, which was Tuesday, they called me back and they were like, you have to go and get this disclosure and everything signed. And I was like, okay, so that's going to cost you another trip fee. They was like, no, that's not going to cost us another trip fee. You were supposed to do it. But the agreement was prior to, as I was stating to Ms. Liz, was they said that the signer would close it, do it during closing. No problem. So I called Ms. Liz. I was kind of upset because, for one, you didn't have the documents ready, prepared when on my way, and the signing was at 5 o'clock. didn't share that with them because they do business with me all the time. So I went ahead and I advised them. I said, I'm going to do it this time because we work together. But next time, just know that you will, because I'm a value loan signer with you guys, we will go ahead and have to discuss this trip fee. I called Miss Liz because I was upset, and she was like, so LaRonda, what do you think you should have done? And I'm thinking she's going to be on my side. LaRonda, my side. She was like, so what do you think you should have done? I said, so Miss Liz, it's funny now, you guys, excuse me. I said, so Miss Liz, I think what I really should have done was say, okay, I'll go ahead and stop at Office Depot and get these documents signed. She said you would have told them that you would call the client and you would have told them that you'll be a little bit late because, you had to get some more documents printed. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, so what about the money? How much, what would you have done about the money? She said, so tell me what you think you should have done about the money. Now, I really wanted to say, Ms. Liz, they're going to pay me my trip fee. But, knowing Ms. Liz, I didn't say that. I said, Ms. Liz, I'll just tell her because I tell the person that I work with, because we've done work together, I'll do it this time. But next time, we'll discuss the trip fee. She said, that's absolutely correct. But I was just hoping that she would be on my side, and that didn't happen.
I was on your side.
But I wanted to tell the lady that she had to pay me my trip fee right then.
Well, you could have,
but I would have lost business in the future.
There you go. So you would have made her give you $35, or you would have made her pay somebody else to go do it. So, or she would have given you that $35. But like you said, you sign for them all the time. So you get 35, but you lose 5,000.
Yeah, Miss Liz, but I wanted my $35.
You want her money. She is your true student because what? You don't play about your money.
I don't play about my money. I don't play about my money. But here's the thing, and what she just said too, is keep in mind, she wasn't at the signing yet, or even if she had been at the signing, you stop at the nearest place where you can print those documents. And then you're able to charge them a print fee because you've already left home. So you go to Office Depot or whatever, and it's going to cost you $10, $15 to print, however, I think you said it was about 25 pages. Then you tack that on to your fee. The other thing was, LaRonda, I'm just going to share this too. I said, well, LaRonda, how far away were you? And LaRonda said, well, Miss Liz, I got greedy because I'm in Duncanville and it was over. Where was it, LaRonda?
It was in Collin County.
Collin County. What the hell are you doing all the way in Collin County? And she said, because she was greedy. Isn't that what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
But let me tell y'all, LaRonda is serious about this business. She is serious. LaRonda, what's going on?
It's not her.
LaRonda. Who is that?
I'm looking. Keep talking.
But LaRonda is serious about this business. When I tell you, she goes after that business, but we all learn things as we go. Because now LaRonda understands what I mean when I say determine your area of operation. You don't go too far in case you got to go back. God forbid that you have to, redo stuff frequently, but every once in a while, we are going to make a mistake. And LaRonda didn't make a mistake in this case, but she still had to go back. So if she had been within 5 miles, 10 miles, that would have been different. But she went all the way to somewhere in Collin County. That was a good 30 miles probably. Right, LaRonda? So anyway, just be mindful of those kinds of things. And if there is a situation, you always want to keep some paper in your car so that, you could get to the signing location and perhaps they have a printer and you would be able to print out those few documents. Then the other thing is sometimes people have a printer, but they don't have any ink. So just know you get those documents printed. And it's unfortunate that it's the last minute, but that's,
Oh, loud, babe.
huh?
It was loud.
Okay, so anyway, that was LaRonda's experience, and I was on her side. I was on the side of what I teach y'all. You get it done. You get it done.
Hey,
And that's
Liz.
called customer service.
That happened to me one time, but I told them that they had to reassign it because it would have delayed. The nearest Office Depot or whatever wasn't very convenient, and
Right.
it would have delayed the signing by too long. So I just told them, just said, well, the best thing to do is to just reassign it, because then they would be able to reassign it quicker and get somebody who could print those documents and get there, faster. But unfortunately, I had to have them reassign it.
And that's always okay. Keep in mind, in this business, we are self-employed. I used to say we have a business, and then I was listening to this stuff last weekend. Man said, if you can't leave your business and have it keep running by itself, then you don't have a business. You're just self-employed. So I said I can work with self-employed. So we are independent contractors. We have choices. If it is a signing that you cannot accommodate because the hiring company has made some changes, don't be scared to just give it back to them. You give it back to them. Sometimes when you have to make those adjustments, it may throw you late for your next appointment. So you give it back to them and allow them to reassign it, which they can. I think we got away from the split signing, and now we're into just asking Liz. Are we at
Question
that
and
point?
answer. Question
Yes,
and answer
ma'am.
period. Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else?
And Miss Liz, I wondered if you had a class about that, about how to determine. I think I saw on your website about determining your worth. When you have to travel versus when you sign in documents. So is that in a separate training class?
No, ma'am. We talk about that in workshop 1. And we also talk about that if it's general notary work. We talk about that in Notary 101. Now, was that Libby talking?
How'd you know? Yes, ma'am.
Because your face ain't there, but you're
Oh, y'all can't see. You know what? I'm on my laptop, and I don't even know where my thingy is.
I can see you now. You moved something. But yes, ma'am, we talk about those things in class.
Okay.
Oh, you did a Zoom on travel fees.
Yeah, for general notary work, yes. Were you talking general notary work, or were you talking?
I'm talking about all the way around, because like the young lady was saying, she's close to me in Duncanville, and she had to go to Plano. So I'm like, okay, so how do you adjust, how do you change the fees? I mean, because I thought like it's just 150, would say general 150, that included the traveling time as well.
Well, if somebody giving you $150, if that's your average fee, that's doggone good, because that's really not the industry, what I've seen as being the industry standard. I mean, you can get it sometimes, but it's not really the industry standard, I would say. But, if you're working direct with the title company, that may be true. But typically, if you're working with signing services, you may not get that 150 all the time. Now, let's say that you have to make the decision for your business, but this is how I look at it. Okay, you're in Duncanville. See, I'm in Arlington. I'm not taking a signing that's in Plano because of traffic, because you have to consider not only your mileage, but you also have to consider your traffic patterns. For me to drive from my house to Plano to do a signing, that's an hour away. Then I always allow an hour for my signings. Then I got an hour to get back. If traffic is backed up, that may be 2 hours. But I don't want to spend 3-4 hours on one signing, even if you do give me $150, because I can stay right here in my area and I might not get 150. I may only get 100, but I can do 2 or 3 in that time frame. Plus, look at this face. I'm an old lady.
Oh, yeah, we
I'm an
know
old lady.
you're an old lady.
And I don't drive that well. I don't drive that well. So I started out, I had a 25-mile radius. I quickly learned that 25 miles is a long way. So now I seldom go more than 10 miles to do a closing. But you have to make that decision for yourself. Now, Libby, how new are you?
Yeah, I'm fresh, like beginning of the month fresh.
Oh, bless your heart.
No signings under my belt as of yet.
And does that mean you've not been to class either?
No, I don't have a mentor. No,
I'm not talking, baby. Before you get yourself a mentor, you gotta learn what you gotta learn the documents. You gotta learn what to do.
Right.
So,
No. I think that's what we spoke about earlier.
Okay, but here's the thing. When you're new, like I said, I used to travel 25 miles, but I learned I ain't doing that anymore. So when you first start, you may drive a little bit further because, first of all, you may have the time. So it's not like you've got closing stacked up. So you may go a little bit further to do a signing. But after a while, you will want to start pulling back. And it's just like, keep in mind, when you're taking those assignments that are way, way out, and you think, what if I make a mistake? And God forbid, we don't want to think like I'm gonna make a mistake, but it happens. We handle a lot of paper. So it's like, if I have to go back, my $100 just got reduced to 50. But what kind of experience did I get? Think about LaRhonda's situation. She learned some stuff through that process. So as long as you're learning stuff through the process, shoot, I'd say you're ahead of the game. What do you think?
That is true.
Question, with you only going 10 miles now, you don't go 25. Are you staying busy? Is there enough work for you to stay in 10 miles?
Oh my God.
How's your plate?
Oh my God. The business is here. And I will share with you. When I started doing that, it was about 3 years ago now, because I was running all over the place. Those of you who live in this area, you might know what Burleson is, Waxahachie, Irving, Bedford. I went to Plano one time. I didn't know I was in Plano. I got lost. But I said, when I made the decision, because here again, we are independent contractors. We make decisions for our business based on what works for us. So I was making pretty good money. And then it's like, I can't do this traveling like that anymore. I also don't go after dark. So, because I got lost a couple times down in Waxahachie, Burleson, Cleburne. I was all over the place. I don't go there anymore. Well, I said, what is the impact going to be on my business? So I had to test it. So that first month, I was scared to death. I was shaking in my boots because it's like, I got used to making that little money. And it's like, what if my business falls off? My goodness, my business did not fall off. It increased. Because here again, while I'm traveling to these faraway places, I was missing opportunities that were right here in my backyard. Now, the other thing you have to consider is the area where you live. I am in a metropolitan area. I am in Mansfield. Let me just tell you, I do Arlington, Mansfield, Grand Prairie, and Kennedale. I am 15 minutes from Fort Worth. I do not go to Fort Worth because Fort Worth could take me into some places. If I accept a job that says Fort Worth and Sometimes it'll end up way, way west Fort Worth. That could still be an hour because of traffic. Or I could end up way, way north Fort Worth, which is Keller. That only happened to me one time. So it depends on your area. If the refinances and if there's a lot of building going on in your area, like Grand Prairie, Kennedale, Arlington, Mansfield, whole lot of work. It's a whole lot of work. I did not skip a beat. In fact, it increased. So you have to do some testing. You have to test your area. And like I said, for 2 years, I was driving all over the place. And I said, let me just see what the impact will be. So yes, ma'am, there's plenty of work for me. Right now, there's a lot of work, but I am a SnapDocs lover. Some people hate SnapDocs, but I am a SnapDocs lover. I've taken myself off SnapDocs because of COVID-19, and I don't take as many signings. I'm taking signings from just 2 places, and most of that is for cash outs or in the title company. So my business, my money has gone down to about 1/3 of what I was making. And it's like I could have tripled what I was making. But here's the other thing. I decided I'm part-time. I am a part-time loan signing agent. And that's the way I started. I don't want to work any more than 20 to 30 hours a month. 20 to 30 hours a month. So now I'm working about 10. But that's okay. That's okay. So yes, there's plenty of work. It's not going to just fall in your lap. You still have to do something to get that business. And we talk about what you need to do to get the business in class. And then once you get that business, you've got to provide excellent service so that you don't want to be a one and done type person. You want to be proficient at what you're doing so that they keep calling you back. You want to be proficient at this business so you are in the top tier. You're in their favorites. When they put that assignment out there, you're going to be one of the first people that is going to phones that is going to hit. You got to do the work. You got to do the work.
When you are doing a mobile notary or a mobile signing and you end up in a different county, when the verbiage at the top, they want you to fill in the blank, it says state of blank, county of blank. Are you putting the county that you're notarizing in or the county that you are commissioned in?
Are you talking about the notarial certificate or are you talking about the county at the top of the form outside of the notarial certificate?
Right, yeah, whenever they don't fill it in, because sometimes they already have it filled in, whichever state and whichever county you're in, but sometimes they leave it blank because they want you to fill in the state and the county.
Okay, again, are you talking about the notarial certificate? There's a reason that I want to be specific on that. Are we talking?
Go ahead.
Are we talking about the notarial certificate?
Yes.
Okay, for your notarial certificate, when you are completing that part at the very top of your certificate, where it says state, of course, if you're in Texas, your state is Texas. Then where it says county, okay, that part up there is your venue. And that means you're putting in the county in which you are physically sitting at that time to do that notarization. That's your venue. Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, no, that's what I mean. Because I didn't know if maybe some people put the county that they were commissioned in, if they were going to put their stamp.
Okay, well, let's take it a step further. Mm-hmm. What we also learned in Notary 101, sometimes you will have a notarial certificate and at the top, which is your venue, where you are physically located when you are performing your notarial duties, that's where you are. Okay, that's the city, that's the county you're going to put there. Now, at the bottom, where you are actually signing your notarial certificate, you're signing your name. Sometimes on a certificate, it will say, it will have verbiage such as commissioned in the county of. Then that is your commission county. For instance, let's say I'm notarizing in Dallas County. So at the top part of that certificate, I put Dallas County. But down under my signature, I am commissioned in the county of Tarrant.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, good question. You're welcome.
Also, last week you guys mentioned a notary database that y'all get a lot of business from. Can you remind me of what that was again? It wasn't SnapDocs, it was something else.
SnapDocs is just about the only, and it's a SnapDocs is a platform,
right,
that a lot of different signing services use to push signings out to us.
Yeah, someone mentioned something, and then y'all were saying like, oh, y'all get emails from them all the time, and
oh, one, two, somebody just said 123 Notary.
Miss Liz, I think she was, if this is the young lady that was in our meeting last time, and I'm sorry to interrupt, this is LaRonda, and I think I advised you of Signature Closers.
Yeah, okay. That was the one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Signature Closers, they have a lot. And LaRonda, tell them, who was that asking that question? Was that Hannah?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, LaRonda, you heard LaRonda earlier talk about the experience the other day. Mm-hmm. And she mentioned that because she gets a lot of business from Signature, that's why she decided to go ahead and do the right thing. LaRonda, can you just share with Hannah what your experience is with Signature Closing? Because it's not one that I use, but LaRonda has done quite a bit. For instance, how well do they communicate? How well do they pay on time? That kind of thing. Can you share that experience with Hannah and the group?
Yes, ma'am. I'd be more than happy to. So Hannah, they do pay on time. That's why I continuously work for them. As Miss Liz has instilled in me, I'm serious about my money. I am very serious about my money. If you don't pay me my money, I don't do you any. We don't have anything else to talk about. So yes, they do pay on time. Now, as far as communication, their communication is a little bit not so good to me because they only communicate with you by email, and they have a platform. They have something that they will send you the signings to, somewhat like SnapDocs. Also, I get work from them now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't mind sharing this. When I did my first signing with them, I only made $85. That was the first 2 signings, and after I did that, it increased. So, I mean, being that you're a first-time signer, I would say take, Ms. Liz taught us this as well. Take the first 2 low balls and then find out how you can be consistent, and they'll work with you. I mean, she sends me nothing less than, I'm up there. I just put it like that. I'm up there. So when she'll call me and be, or email and be like, hey, I have this sign in such and such place. Do you want it before I put it on the platform?
Are they good about sending feedback at all about how you did?
And also, just like I stated, remember they wanted me to go and do that signing for them. They didn't want to pay me my money, but she called me today. She called me today and said, hey, I have 2. Would you like to do them? Of course, I would love to do them. She was like, and I'm gonna throw a little extra in there. So
you got your $35.
There you go.
I got a little bit more, Miss Liz.
There you go, girl. See, certain things they can't do, But then if you're working with them, they'll make it up to you somewhere else.
Yes.
Look at you, Miss LaRonda. Aren't you
And-
glad I didn't agree with you to tell you to go make them give you $35?
Right.
I just want you on my side, Miss Liz.
I was on your side. I was on your side.
I want you to call. I want you to say, LaRonda, you call them back and tell them they need to give you your $35, honey.
And then when you lost all the business, you'd be calling me, cussing me out.
No, now, Miss Liz, no, I'm afraid to do that.
Me too, girl. Me too. But let's point out that they're calling you now before
Yes.
they put it on the platform. That's
Yes.
big. That's big.
That's huge.
Yes. She'll call me. Her name, as a matter of fact, her name is Amanda. She'll be like, "Hi, LaRonda. This is Amanda. I have two. I'm about to put them on the platform. Before I post them, would you like to get them?" I'll be like, "Yes."
Now, do they send you like really far? Because my first one was through SnapDocs and they sent me 2 hours away to Sandia, Texas. And I'll never do that again. But is Signature Closers, do they tend to try to keep around the area you are?
They do. They will keep around the area that you are handling. But see, I'm the greedy one, so I kind of.
I like the word hungry. LaRonda, you're hungry. You're not greedy. You're hungry.
Okay, I'm hungry. So I kind of somewhat travel a little bit further just to keep the relationship. But if they contact you and you choose and you ask them where it is, hey, it's in Plano, Hannah, you can say, you know what, that's a little bit too far. Just, keep me in mind for the next one. If you find something closer, I'll be more than happy to do it for you. I will say this, it's better to tell them no than to say yes and don't do it at all. Always stand out with your name. When they say, I feel like now with that company, when they say LaRonda, everyone smiles. They've never seen my face, but everyone smiles.
LaRonda, this is Regina. Me and my friends call, like, I'm out here in Fort Worth and I call Plano geographically undesirable. I don't tell them that. I just tell them that that's not in my area, but in the back of my mind, I'd be like, that is geographically undesirable. I don't travel. I used to travel out there to those places too, but I don't do them anymore. Actually, I'm not even on SnapDocs anymore. Most of my business comes from Amrock, Zome, and a couple of other direct signers.
I'm with Pack Signing, Zone, Notary Dash. I'm with all of them. Whatever's on the list, that's where I sign up at. And it's wonderful.
BankServe,
everything. Then I'm gonna tell you something else, Regina. The reason I like to go to Plano is because my husband, he works in Irving, and Plano have a couple of stores out there that I love to stop by. So yes, for a little short period of time, I'll go to Plano. Not that often, but hey, it is what it is. I love it.
You go to Plano when it's on your way. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Just keep in mind if you have to go back. Now, the other thing that what I say is, I don't say geographically undesirable. I just say it's out of my area of operation.
I'm saying that to you, Liz. I don't tell
I know.
I know,
but I just say it's out of my area of operation, or if it's out of my service area. Yeah, something like that. And then sometimes, they'll come up with these crazy places, and I just laugh. They want me to go to Granbury. I've been there once, and they say Granbury. I just start laughing.
Well, I did have one. She called me about a week ago, and she was like, would you like to go to Cameron, Texas? I said, are you speaking to about someone's home named Cameron? She said, no, it's Cameron, Texas. I've never heard of Cameron, Texas. I told her,
So we're not going.
No, ma'am, I'm not going down there because, first of all, Amanda, I don't know where that is, and that does not sound like someone like me should be going to Cameron, Texas. So, she was like, okay, LaRonda, just let me know. She was like, but I'll pay you. Since it was in the 3 digits, I was like, you know what, thank you, but no thank you, because I feel like if I go down there, it's going to be some dirt roads, and I'm not coming back, so I'll just stay in my vicinity.
Well, we have to be careful. Let's just make sure that whenever we're going out signing, safety first.
Yes.
So, and I think everybody on here, I don't think we got any guys on here, but even guys as well. we have to be mindful of the areas that we're going into, and no area is necessarily safe anymore. So we want to take the necessary precautions. And for me, I don't go out after dark. I don't go to do any signings because I'm no lady. And, and I don't, you know, one time I was down in Cleburne or wherever, those were dark streets, and those people in Cleburne, they were so nice because I guess they just figured that I was an old lady or whatever, out of my element, because I was driving on, I turned into the wrong lane. They just stopped until I realized what I had done. And then I could safely move over into the correct lane. That stopped me from going out at night. And that stopped me from going to the country at night. Then the other thing about going to the country, you have to be careful because your GPS ain't gonna work.
I have a question about the signing services.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you not able to specify what areas you would like to work in with them?
Yes, ma'am.
You
You
are?
do. You tell them by zip code. They're basically going to go by zip code.
Okay.
So when I first started, I ran all the zip codes that were within 25 miles of my home. And that's what I put out there. And that's when I quickly realized that 25 miles was too far.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, though, you will give them the zip codes that you cover, but then oftentimes they're not looking at that. And they will just put an assignment out there that's not, it's nowhere near the zip codes that you have indicated, but then you just say no.
Okay.
No, you just say no.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, we're 12 minutes over, but are there any other questions before we sign out for tonight?
Ms. Liz, I do have a notary question,
Yes, ma'am.
really quick. So yesterday, I ended up not having to carry out this the signing, but I received an assignment for a borrower for a loan modification, and the co-borrower was deceased. And there was a separate signature line for the co-borrower, comma, deceased. My question to you is, the reason why it didn't get carried out is because the primary borrower, she actually lived in Maryland. And so I sent it back to the signing service and asked them, gave them the zip code that she lived in and all of that. But had it been that the borrower was actually in Illinois, I did inquire with the signing service what was the expectation of the signing, the co-borrower's signature line as deceased. Would I have still taken that on? I know what I would have done for the notarial certificate, but for the loan documents with regards to the errors and omission, the compliance agreement, those two other documents that require signature, would I have still carried out that transaction or just sent it back to the signing company and say, hey, there's a co-borrower, comma, deceased signature line, I can't do it?
Okay, you said that, let me just ask you a question before I answer. You said you know what you would have done with the notarial certificate, but what about the loan documents? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I want you to tell me what you would have done with the loan document, with the notarial certificate, since the man is dead. And I'm saying a man, but.
It was her mother. But yes, and she had died. I confirmed, I said, just want to confirm that there's the co-borrower's deceased. She said, yes, it's my mother, and she died 12 years ago.
How are you gonna handle that notarial certificate?
So this was my thought process. I was going to treat it as if the second signer was not in front of me, like a split signing. That's how I was going to treat it and cross out the name. But if I couldn't complete the whole package, I was not going to complete it at all.
So you were going to cross out, who did you have in front of you?
The borrower, the daughter.
So the daughter was in front. Now, who was in Illinois?
So the daughter actually, so I ended up not carrying out the transaction because the borrower actually physically lives in Maryland. The property is here in Illinois, and by error, they sent the documents here, and they assigned the notary assignment was here in Illinois, not in Maryland, where the borrower was physically located.
So you didn't have nobody in front of you?
Nobody, not a one. Now, I'm speaking from the scenario of had the borrower actually physically lived in Illinois and been in front of me. However, that second signature still says she's still deceased.
Yes. Okay. Well, first of all, let me just say that is an awesome example. Thank you so much for asking this question. First off, you couldn't do anything with that. You could not do anything as far as notarizing because you did not have anybody in front of you. So you did right to give it back. Now, as far as you having a signature line that had a person's name on it and deceased, you couldn't do anything with that either because that person sure wasn't in front of you.
I sure hope not.
Yeah, and if there is, you don't care about the loan documents. This is the other thing. We have to be proactive and we have to be problem solvers. Some things, but then there are some things we just leave it alone because basically what's in those mortgage documents, it's none of our business. We are concerned with the notarial certificate only, and we know we are responsible to identify the signers. You cannot identify a dead person.
You're right.
That dead person is not going to be sitting in front of you. However, if the language on the certificate had read Sally Sue, power of attorney for LaRonda Collins, no, we're gonna use LaRonda, for Mary Jones, comma, deceased,
Right.
then you're okay, if you have a power of attorney. Now, do you have to confirm that this person is truly power of attorney? No, you do not. It is not your job to determine the validity of the power of attorney documents, but you must have them signed exactly as that name appears on that notarial certificate. That makes sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Girl, I'm so glad you sent that back and did try to do it. Amen.
Quickly, I was
We would have seen her on the news.
deceased. Oh.
Yeah, just keep in mind. Just keep in mind, especially in your general notary, that's where it's more dangerous than if on your loan signing documents. But just keep in mind, if whenever you're notarizing something, just think about, can I defend it in court? Did I do my due diligence? Did I do my job as a notary? Make sense?
Yes.
That was a great question. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Tamika.
All right, we're at 8:19. Okay. Thank everyone for joining us. Our next class is Workshop 1. It is this Saturday, August 22nd. You can still sign up on our website at echeadconsulting.com. That's Workshop 1. Workshop 2 is the following Saturday, which is the 29th. That is a advanced class, so we do advise you to take Workshop 1 before you do Workshop 2, because you definitely will be lost in the sauce. Next Wednesday is me with oh my gosh, what am I talking about? Oh, multiple streams of income and why it is no longer a luxury. We all need multiple streams of income. We need an A, B, and a C, sometimes D plans. All right. Do we have any questions?
What about what's coming up in September?
Okay. September, for our Wednesday Nuggets, we have Madeline from BNN. September 8th, we have Antoinette from NPR,
I
and
don't,
this will be her 3rd time joining us. It's always great information that she shares, so we just keep inviting her back. September 15th and the 22nd is Elizabeth C. Head of EC Head Consulting. On the 15th, what are you talking about?
I think the 15th is notice of right to cancel, maybe, or backdating.
Okay.
I might have those dates, switched around, but
Okay.
backdating and right
Tamika.
notice of right to cancel.
Yes.
Charlie.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
I'm sorry. On this Zoom call, and I got so engrossed in taking notes that I did not.
You did not what?
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was unmuted. I was talking to my son.
Oh,
Oh,
So Tamika, this is LaRonda. Do you mind if I say something really quick?
go ahead.
Okay, so I want to say that, and I said this last week, so if you were on last week, you know this. I've taken, Miss Liz and I, we live in the same state, around the same area, like 25 miles apart. You would think that me and Miss Liz have seen each other. We have talked on the phone or related to her some kind of way. No shade, Tamika.
I didn't take that way.
However, I've taken workshop 1, workshop 2, workshop 3. My confidence came from this class. Me and Miss Liz, as I stated, we have never seen each other. Every time I have a problem, I don't know what it is, but if I have a problem with anything as far as loan signing, I can call and she's gonna put me on the right path. So if you haven't taken her class, I would go ahead and suggest that you do take her class. Because I'm gonna tell you something, I took 2 other loan signing classes before I took hers. And I am more confident with her class than I am with anyone else's class. I guarantee that if you take her class, you will feel the same way. She always say she creates superheroes. And I am a testimony of that. Go in someone's house and I feel like, okay, you know what? I'm going to someone's house, getting ready to do a sign, and all I can hear her say is, "You can do this, girl. Go ahead and do it. Make me proud." So if you haven't taken her class, go ahead and take it, and guess what? You will not stop learning. I'm going to take another class on the 26th, and hopefully that's not the last workshop that she does. That's the 4th. That would be the 4th class, and I'm telling you, it is awesome. Training classes are awesome.
well,
Definitely I want you to speak, LaRonda.
No.
Tamika, she going to one of my classes on 26. What I got on 26?
On the September 26th, you have the new class modifications.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, she meant 26th of September.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I'm
Ooh,
sorry, I
that's
didn't get the
very
month. Yes.
Yeah, I'm adding, I love to add value, for you guys. And right now, modifications are hot. And, they're all like $30, but it's a little bit of money. However, you will get 20 pages, but 20 of those pages are instructions. And then you may stamp one time. Now, you just don't go too far from your house. But let me tell you, the modifications are extremely important. And that's why I've chosen to do a class with it, because with modifications, it's people who are trying to get their loans modified. And a lot of it is due to COVID-19. Well, if you miss something on that paperwork, that could mean they don't get their modification and they could go into foreclosure. So it is very, very important. So with the modification class, I just call it my hodgepodge, because it's modification, seller packages, and investment loans. So it's going to be out there for you if you feel a need to take it.
Take it.
We know LaRonda will be there. I love it. Thank
Right.
you, LaRonda. I'm gonna pay you later for that commercial.
Miss Liz, just give me the prize. Just give me the prize.
Okay, yeah. Tamika, are we gonna do? Let's do Bill Soroka's book.
Okay, so
Oh, we lost some people.
well.
That's silly.
They should have stayed to the end. You know
Now,
how
anybody, this is Bill Soroka's Sign and Thrive. So if you already have it, you may not want to participate. Or if you do participate, you are the winner, you will gift it to someone else. Now, those of you who may be on, who were on last week, who won the credit book, I was on my way to the post office to drop them off, and I got sidetracked at Steinmart
Oh my goodness.
because they're closing, so I didn't make it to the post office today.
I get my book next month, Mika.
Oh, I gotta go tomorrow. I gotta get there tomorrow.
Can I ask
Okay.
LaRonda a question?
Yes, of course.
LaRonda, so on, I think you said Pack to Sign. It was one of the.
Signing.
Yeah, when you go to their website, how do you actually upload your credentials?
Do you have them saved to your computer?
Well, I do, but there's not an option to do an upload. It just gives me an X when I try to do it.
So what you're gonna do is once you go ahead and you log in, they're gonna send you a packet and that you're gonna print out and fill out, and then you send all that back, and then they're gonna open it up for you to go ahead and upload it as well. It's a process. You're not just gonna log in and you're not just gonna put your stuff on there and they're gonna send you signings. It is a process.
Okay. All right. I just thought I was doing something wrong.
No, ma'am, you're not. And what I will do, Ms. Vanessa, I'm gonna personally chat with you, and what
Okay.
I'll do is give you my phone number. My number, so you can go ahead and we can chat if you need any assistance. Okay?
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Sorry
I
about
told
that.
you we share in this group. Okay, let's give away this book.
Okay, so looks like we have 17 minus me and my mother, that's 15. So we're gonna do a random number between 1 and 15, and if you could put it in the chat for me.
Nah. Wait, how did?
Okay, and the number is 11, and I always show my screen so y'all can see. It's right there, 11. And that is Tia. So congratulations. You get the
Thank
Thrive
you.
and Thrive book. If you could send your mailing information to what would you like to do? You can put it in the chat privately to Liz.
Don't put it in the chat. Send me, text me.
Okay.
Okay.
And her phone number is 81. Oh, it's on the screen.
Okay, I see it.
817-584-3922. Liz, can you stop sharing for a moment? I sent you a text message, but I guess you didn't see it.
Well, smarty pants.
All right. So is there anything else?
Can I add that this was awesome?
Well, thank you.
Thank you so
I
much.
thoroughly enjoyed this.
Thank you. Lisa, is that you? You been here all the time?
She was quiet today.
I know.
No, I actually got on late. I'm sorry.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, it was about 7:30, 7:35. So I missed like the first 30 minutes.
Girl, it's okay. You still had a whole hour of us, didn't you?
Oh,
Thank
well,
you,
yeah. So not too late.
Yeah, and everything that we talked about will be posted tomorrow, so you didn't miss anything.
Oh, yeah, I check out the YouTubes. I thoroughly enjoyed the YouTubes.
Oh, Narissa.
Narissa.
Oh, go ahead, Mika.
Oh, is that what you were about to read?
Yeah.
Narissa said first time here, but she will be back. All right, we'll see you next week, Narissa.
I love it. Thank you so much. I hope it's beneficial to you guys. I do my best to, just to add a little value to.
Oh, we have a friend, Miss Raynell. What's your friend's name? I got sidetracked.
Raynell.
This is Africa. She is a purebred Sphinx, And she was born actually in South Africa.
And so you named her South Africa.
No, it's just Africa.
Her actual paper name is African Dream.
Oh.
And I sort of claimed her from my former roommate.
So
I decided that
you
she
stole
had
it.
a cattery, and I was going in there kind of, looking at the cats and petting them and rubbing on them and things like that. And I was like, okay, you're going to come here and let me love you because you look like my hairy calico.
Oh my.
And we made friends, and my roommate said, you know what, just take her in there in your room. So
she's yours.
So she's mine now, and she's a mess.
Well, okay, well, y'all, we gonna sign off. Thank you.
Yes,
for
thank
sharing
you.
that
Have a
story.
great evening.
And then
All right,
next
y'all too.
week- Next week, perhaps Tamika will have her chickens on her lap.
No, I won't.
All right, y'all.
Have a good evening.
Have a great.
Thank you, Miss Liz.
You're welcome, baby girl. You're welcome.
All right. See y'all next week.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.